Now, just to touch a little bit further on fuel, um, and this is a slide I think I first drew about 2012, 2013, and it does still show a an apparent linking, obviously, between high fuel pricing and gross orders. Although, albeit there is a delay. What we see is we certainly see fuel price going up, and then there seems to be a 6-month to a year delay when we see the gross orders starting to come in, which would appear obvious, really, when you're looking at it. But of course, it's not directly linked. There are many different factions in here, and of course, lower fuel burn does reduce cost. It shields against spikes, obviously, if you're buying newer equipment. But of course, the issue is slot availability. I mean, it is a major decision point, isn't it? Really, still, in that sense, slot availability, which we will get to further on, is something that you can't really provide any near-term comfort. You're having then to look at the lessors really before you can action upon that. And then, of course, there's the higher debt cost as well. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think if you're linking that high fuel spike to the orders, if you're in an environment, as you pointed out, where there's a much longer lead time to taking the delivery, does that influence the decision making? So
yeah, and when you look at that as well, I mean, you look at the dotted line there, which is the current orders to date, firm orders to date, which is about 1,400 or so, not including the other 400 or 500 MOUs and LOIs and options that have also been done. It would estimate that we would be looking at somewhere at the end of this year or middle of next year to be getting to a number around 3,500 to nearly 4,000 orders. If this same trend followed, which seems quite hard and difficult to swallow when you consider the number of slots that are available.
And the size of the backlog,
yes,
as it already is.
Yeah. So the jury's still out on some of these bits. So